Welcome to Mompreneur Truth Talks. I'm Lisa Avila, business strategist and mom of 3 busy teenagers. Are you building something incredible but wondering why success feels so complicated? Maybe you dream of making a big impact, but you keep asking yourself, is it possible to grow without sacrificing the moments that matter most as a mom? Here's my take. Life isn't about balance, but instead harmony. I've been there in the weeds, juggling soccer practices, struggling with Common Core math. Seriously, why is it so confusing? And running a business. Along the way, I realized that with the right strategic design, you can create harmony between your work and life without compromising what matters most to you. In this podcast, I'll share practical strategies and real-life solutions to help you find that harmony. Now let's dive into today's episode. Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Mompreneur Truth Talks. Today I have Chelsea Bailey and I'm so excited. Hi Chelsea.
Yay, hi, I'm so excited to be here. We were all just laughing, just so everybody knows, because we're like, we need some wine and we need to just like relax and like have a fun conversation with everyone. So
exactly. If it weren't so early, but anyway,
yeah,
I'm California anyway. But yeah, so Chelsea is a somatic practitioner and hypnotherapist for moms. So of course, I needed to bring her on the podcast.
Yay.
Yes.
Go moms.
Yeah, go moms. I mean, being a mom is a lot of work and it's beautiful, right? But it's also pretty messy. And what I love about your work is that you help moms come back to themselves and find themselves again. And it's not just about motherhood. We are a person, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's what I always say. That's one of my favorite quotes. I actually don't know who it's by, but it's not mine. But I always love it. And I always bring it back because it's like we were somebody before we were mothers. And we deserve to reconnect with that version of us because we're not just moms. And if we put all of our weight into what we do, into just being a mom, then of course we're going to get lost and we're going to feel disconnected. And so that's what that's my mission, is to help moms just feel empowered again, feel connected to themselves, feel like they can have the space to just have fun and just feel wildly alive and pursue their passions and just not forget about themselves, right? Just get connected back to that fiery version of you before you were a mom, because we can be both. We just weren't taught how to be both, you know?
It is so true. For me, it's okay. Now you're a mom, so forget all the fun and you got to take care of everybody, kind of lose yourself. Yeah. And then you start to come out of it again with help from, coaches, healers, or realizing like,
yeah, it's like we become like the rule setters and we forget that we can be rule breakers too,
Okay.
I love that. That just came to me.
That is so good because it's true. When we look at our kids and how they act, it's actually how we used to act, but we forget because now we're
like, I invented that. Who do you think you are?
You're not getting that one past me, kiddo.
Yeah, exactly.
So true. So when you talk about nervous system regulation, I would love to know how you got into this. We'll start there, of how you decided to help moms with this.
Yes. And I will say that I always kind of had this, I got this ping, this intuitive ping that I wanted to be a coach and I wanted to help people before I even became a mom. And then COVID kind of hit and I got kind of off track, right? That happens. And the more that I got off my track, I noticed how I wasn't feeling like myself. And I was starting to feel already disconnected from myself even before I became a mom. And this all kind of happened and came to the surface like when I was pregnant with my daughter. And then, so when I had my daughter, I made this massive career shift and I got a coach because I recognized I am stuck. I'm so lost. I don't know who I am anymore. And I used to be such a dreamer, such a visionary, like an ambitious mom, and then add a baby into the mix. And I was like, I don't have any ambition or fire anymore. And I don't know who I am. Like, what is next? What is happening? What is next? And I tried to fix it myself. I feel like that's what moms do. We try to we try to problem solve ourselves. We try to fix everybody else's problems, and we forget that it's okay to ask for help. And so I got to that point where I was like, all right, if I want to be a coach, then I want to get coached. And I had a friend who was doing it, and she just kept popping up into my mind. And I was like, all right, I just need to do it. And I'll never forget the first session with her. I just cried, and it was happy tears, like a little happy, a little sad, like a big release. Like I just cried because it was like, I felt so good finally investing in myself and saying yes to myself. And that's what I said. I was like, I'm just so proud of myself for being here and saying yes to me, because I haven't felt like that in a long time. And so when I was working with her, I noticed, and through my research and through my own coaching certifications and becoming a somatic practitioner and doing all these things, I recognized that it's no wonder why I was feeling the way I was feeling. Like, just to validate all the moms out there, like, there's a reason why all the shit just hits the fan when we become moms. It's like, there's a reason why. And it's because a lot of our, you add on all the stress that we already had before we became a mom, and then you add a child into the mix. And then our brain is actually going through massive structural changes. Our hormones are changing. Like, everything about us physically is changing. And there's no wonder why we're like feeling easily triggered, or like having these like old wounds resurface, or feeling like we're always questioning ourselves and stuck in self-doubt. And how am I supposed to do this? And now all of these like motherhood expectations, and you feel like you're judged all the time, and you can't make confident decisions. There's just so much that is expected of moms. And so you add all that into the mix. It's no wonder why we feel lost and disconnected, and like, we're just trying to hold it all together, because nobody gave us a handbook to like be able to do this and tell us what was going to happen when we had kids. So for me, true healing came not when I tried to just push through, or when I tried to like get more organized or get more sleep. And like, Lord knows we weren't getting the sleep we needed in the beginning. It came from doing like the inner healing. And so the first thing that I did was like trauma healing breath work. And that changed everything for me. That was such a game changer. And I did that with my coach. She introduced me to it, and immediately I got certified in that, because I was like, everybody needs this. And so I started doing like that deep healing work, and trauma healing breath work heals, like it heals trauma and heals emotional blocks, suppressed emotions, all these deep seated things that have been stuck and stored in our body even before we were moms. But like I said, motherhood just amplifies them. It just all comes up to the surface. So we can't ignore it anymore. And so I was able through that, I was healing my nervous system. I was healing from old wounds. I was healing, all these emotions and all these things that I was just shoving away for so long. And that got me reconnected back to who I was. And I always say that's like what trauma is, old wounds, however you want to say it. And I can define that if we need to, but like, trauma isn't about like the event itself. It isn't about what happens to you. It's about how our nervous system specifically processes it and handles it. It's too much, too fast, too soon. So it's not about the event itself. It's about how our system and our own body like perceives it. It's just overwhelming for us. And so that if we don't know how to process it, and we don't have, an empathetic witness, as we like to say, to help us process it, which when we're children, we don't, right? We don't have anyone to say, oh, it's okay to feel sad. It's okay to cry. Tell me what happened at school, whatever it is. And so then we hold on to those things, and they live with us, and they live in our body, and they resurface. And so once I always say it's kind of like a blurred lens, like all the emotional wounds and the old wounds and like all that stuff, as it adds up and piles on into all of our years of life, it's become this blurred lens. So now we're looking through a blurred lens. And that's what causes us to lose ourselves, because we've added on all of these things, all of these societal expectations, all of the conditioning that disconnects us from ourselves. And so when we can start to heal those things and pull back the layers and kind of unclear the vision, clear the goggles again, that's when we can be like, oh my God, there she is. There she is. Like, I see you. I feel you. I'm here. She's there. She's been there. She just got covered up and was drowning in all the other stuff. So yeah, to put it lightly, doing the inner healing, doing the inner healing was what was the game changer for me. And so like, it might seem woo-woo to people, but it's not. Like, our bodies can heal, our minds can heal, our minds can change, we can change. And if you're just open to that, then just whatever that first step is that's calling you, like, take that first step, because it will uncover everything, and it just pours out into the rest of your life. So I always say, like, yes, I was in it for me. Like, I was like, I don't want to feel like this anymore, but it made me a better mom too. And so that's where I lead moms. And yeah. So
yeah, because when you were talking about all of the different things and emotions and traumas and wounds, and it's like, oh my gosh, I could feel it on my shoulders of like, that is a lot to carry. And, you know, generations past, they just carried it. I mean, they just, that's what you did. It was survival mode. But we don't have to be in survival mode anymore. We can move through it. And thank goodness, right? And to have
now I'm like, take a breath.
Yeah.
Breathing. There's so much more than just breathing, but breathing is like one of the most powerful things we can do. And we haven't wrapped our brain around letting that work.
Well, and
you know what I mean?
I forget to breathe. I'm going so fast.
Yeah.
We're doing all the things. We're doing the things for our kids, and you just kind of forget to breathe. So that, to me,
truly.
Step one, breathe. Oh,
yes,
thank you for that reminder. We need
it.
Yes.
And that's what the power of our nervous system is our nervous system is what holds on to the trauma and holds on to the conditioning and holds on to everything that we believe about ourselves. And the difference is it doesn't know, you know, it doesn't know what you want to believe. You know, it doesn't know like that you want to be this confident, empowered mom. It just thinks, it just holds on to all your experiences ever since you were a child. So that's what we're experiencing now as adults, is all of our conditioning when we were young. So from 0 to 7, and maybe you've probably heard that, but like from 0 to 7, that's when all of our conditioning and our programming happens, is in our early childhood stages. So everything that you see and think and feel now is just a reflection of everything that you experienced when you were a child. And so I talk to mom a lot about their triggers, because this often comes up, right? Like, how do I get so triggered? And like, why can't I stop yelling at my kids? Why can't I stop feeling so angry, or why do I feel like I'm on this emotional roller coaster and I can't change it? And it's because it's automatic. It's automatic. Like, it happens in it happens in seconds. So I always tell moms, I'm like, don't get upset when you yell at your kids and then you're like, and you feel the shame and the guilt and you're like, oh my gosh, why did I just say that? Why did I just do that? And I'm like, it's how your nervous system was programmed. It thinks that events in the past that weren't resolved are happening now. And so it's coming online to protect you, because it thinks that this is what we need to do to protect her. It's a protective mechanism. It's a protective response. It's a trauma response that's just coming online automatically based on how you're perceiving what's happening around you. So if you, and like, let's say that let's say that your child's having a meltdown and they're feeling all of this anger and they're having this emotional, these big emotions and this big meltdown, and you weren't taught how to hold that like safely in your nervous system. And so your nervous system sees that as a threat. They see this big event happening and they're like, oh man, it just reminds them of something that happened in the past. So then your nervous system comes online and it hijacks your experience. That's what I always say. It hijacks your experience. It takes over your rational thinking and it just acts for you. So you're acting from previous experience, even though you might think it's happening now. Your nervous system is thinking this was something that happened in the past and I have to come online to protect you now too. Yeah. Ooh. And our nervous system is always categorizing and working in patterns and trying to categorize things and find the patterns and find the meaning of it, so that it can like organize all of these events into files, so that way it can protect you from danger in the future. So it's all in protection. It's all a protective thing. So I'm always telling moms, it's like, your body's on your side. Your body's just trying to protect you. We just have to tell it we don't need protection anymore. We just have to show it that has passed. I'm an adult now. I'm good. I got this. Like, we just have to show it that those things are resolved and that you're in control and that you're in power and that you're safe, you're connected, you're good.
Yeah. Wow. That reminds me of some work I did in therapy talking to my inner child of like, I've got this. You don't have to worry about it. I can do this. But it also reminded me of when, because I have 3 kids and they were 3 under 4 years old. And so, yes, I would lose it sometimes because it was so much. And then I would feel that shame and the guilt of losing it. And so, yeah, it's been really great to figure out why I would lose it and not lose it anymore. I remind myself, like, no, we're finished with that. It's all good.
Yeah. I know. I went on a whole thing there, but I was like, I always want people to know what's right about it. And what I always tell people too, because, I think mindset work was like the thing. And now I feel like somatics is getting thrown out a lot, which is great. But there can be it's just very surface level. There can be some confusion about it. Like, what does that even really mean? Like all the things. And I always, and for me, what hit the most was understanding, because mindset work, that was the first certification that I got, because I feel like I've always been into mindset. And while the mindset work that I do is a lot of like subconscious reprogramming. So it's not just like, mindset, like have a positive mindset. Like, it's not just that. But understanding that so much of what we're experiencing is actually coming from our body, from our nervous system. So like, our vagus nerve, which is a part of, the body, is what sends the bidirectional communication between our body and our brain. And so when we, and I say this because a lot of clients that come to me are like, and this also resonated with me, is like, I did talk therapy and I did the talk therapy and it was great. But then it was like, I feel like I'm just talking now and I feel like we're not getting anywhere. And I feel like I hit a block. And it's because most therapists, most therapeutic practices, depends on what it is, but they only cover like the prefrontal cortex, like the cognitive, what's in your conscious knowing, right? And a lot of what we experienced is unconscious, or we say implicit. It's implicit memory in our body. So it's in our unconscious knowing. And that's what's showing up in our life that we're just not recognizing. And so the way that our body brain communicates is 80% of the communication is body to brain, and only 20% of the communication is brain to body. So if we're only doing talk therapy, if we're only doing CBT, right, cognitive behavioral therapy, if we're only talking about our conscious awareness and not tuning into the body, not tuning into somatics, not tuning into subconscious reprogramming or whatever it is, you don't have to do it all, but just not tuning into the body. If we're not letting ourselves feel our emotions, feel our experiences from the body, we're going to be missing 80% of what we're actually experiencing in our day-to-day life. So the key is in the body. Yeah.
Can you explain somatics? Or just give us like a quick, because I do hear that thrown out and like, well, what does that mean?
Yeah. So somatics is really just, it's an embodiment. It's an embodiment. Like, it's not just like, somatic exercises and like, it's not just like breathing, like, deep breathing. Somatics is the felt sense experience. So like how you feel in your body, like being able to be in tune and connected to the full human experience, and connected to your body, like connected to what your body's feeling. Like, so for example, like whenever you recognize, I have to go to the bathroom, or, I'm hungry, I need to eat something. Like, those are physical experiences, physical, communications, physical, feelings that you're getting. That's part of like understanding like somatics and like the body and the full human experience. It's being able to feel and recognize all of you and embodying that. And And it also ties into like emotions too, because I also do emotional processing. And because one fascinating thing is that our nervous system can actually get triggered by negative emotions too. So we can literally go into fight or flight just because we're afraid to feel anger, or we're afraid to feel sadness or guilt or shame. Our nervous system can see that as danger and get triggered by that. So it's somatic. I always just say it's the full human experience. It's feeling connected to your body and being able to feel safe in that, and know that the negative emotions aren't bad emotions. They're okay to feel, and just letting yourself really embrace the humanness of you, knowing that like it's okay to feel sad. It's okay to feel guilt. Like it's normal to feel guilt as a mom. It's okay. It's okay to feel like we did something wrong and that we made mistakes. It's okay. It's okay to feel all of those things. And so somatics is just really like getting into the body and embodying who you want to be. And that's the next level. I feel like that's what makes me different when I work with moms. I'm not just in it for the healing. I'm in it to help you really connect to that empowered version of you that wants to stand tall in who she was before she was a mom, so that she has the space to pursue her passions and just feel the joy. And maybe she's got a dream that she just kind of put on the back burner, and, you know, she just hasn't felt the space to sit with those things. And so I'm always like, there's a call for those things, and we're just rejecting those parts of ourselves. And when we reject those parts of ourselves, we're not going to let ourselves feel the full human experience. We're not going to let ourselves feel fully alive and fully connected to who we are and what we want and how we want to live. Like we're more than just moms.
Yeah.
So,
and showing that to our children.
Yes, absolutely.
Super important. So how do so we know that our nervous system is all over the place. We know that we want to return to ourselves. Where do we start?
Great question. Where we start is
by working with Chelsea.
I'm like, where's the first start? I will say this, because I say it to my clients all the time, because we're always in the fix it mode, right? We want the result fast. We want to fix it. We want to stop feeling the way that we're feeling. And I always tell them the first step is awareness. Awareness. The first step is awareness. Let yourself just be more aware of what you're feeling without having to be a problem solver, without having to find the answer, without having to fix it. Because part of the nervous system is just being able to feel safe in what you're feeling. Okay? Like part of a big piece of our nervous system is just being able to feel safe in what we're feeling the good with the bad, knowing that it's okay to feel the negative emotions. It's okay to feel, oh, my energy feels really low today. I don't know what that means, but I'm just going to sit here and observe and feel that, like, I just don't feel myself today. I feel kind of sad, or, I feel kind of, I'm just feeling this anger and resentment today. What is that? You know, like, and not needing to go to the next step, which is, okay, what does that mean? Right? Don't worry about that right now. Celebrate. And I tell this to my clients too, celebrate the awareness, like celebrate just you're noticing, hey, I'm feeling sad, or I'm feeling my energy feels low, or what am I feeling? What am I feeling? I feel, this is a big one. I feel like I always have to be go, go, go. And I can't just sit down. I can't just sit down and be still and not do anything for 5 minutes. Why? Like, again, I keep going into the why. See, right? We're always like trying to solve, but like, no, just let yourself. So here's an actual tip, an actual exercise you can do. Just practice sitting. If you can do this every single day, great. Just sit without needing to do anything for like 2 to 3 minutes. 5 is great, but for me, that was a lot. You'd be so surprised how you're like, oh my God, this is the longest 5 minutes ever. Like, just sit without doing anything and just tune into your body. Bring your awareness to your body. Like I'm like, just gentle touch, like let yourself know you're here. Put your hand on your heart, your belly, your legs, your shoulders, and just, you can even like do like little soft rubbing on your arms and your body, and just sit without needing to do anything, without needing to know and solve the problem of what you're feeling and why you're feeling that way. Just sit and do nothing. Show your nervous system, show your body that it is safe to sit still, and that is just as important. That rest, that tuning in, that awareness piece is just as important as doing the dishes or sending that email or, cleaning up your kids' laundry. Like, that is so important. It's just as important as all those things. And if that helps you to say that little affirmation, like, this is important right now. Like, I am important. Oh my gosh, that's a good one. That just came to me. I am important. I'm important too. Just sit 2 minutes, like set a timer on your phone, 2 minutes, and just sit and just do nothing except for like feel and connect with your body. Show your nervous system that it's safe to just sit and do nothing because we have a really hard time doing that. And a lot of times that's where the gold is. We got to do the awareness first. We got to feel first before we can be like, oh, I'm feeling like I do have to always be doing something. Why do I always have to be doing something? And a lot of times it's tied to our self-worth. We feel like we get conditional. A lot of us are living in conditional love. Like, right. We get validated. We get rewarded. We get conditional love. We feel worthy when we're productive and when we're checking off the boxes. But can you explore more of what that is? But again, awareness pieces first. Just sitting and showing your nervous system it's safe to just sit and feel is going to be game changing all on its own.
Yeah,
so,
such a great
I hope
tip
that helps. And I didn't go into too many different directions, but yeah.
No. I think that's helpful. And it's just one thing that you can do today. It's not change everything, especially for moms who are so busy. It's, before bed or when you get up in the morning, just sit for a couple of minutes. Yeah, I love that.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So how can moms work with you?
So I'm going to be launching a new program. It's completely new, and I'm really excited about it because a lot of what I've been doing with clients has been like deep, like long, heavy programs. And I there's a lot of moms that, maybe aren't ready for that. And that's okay. And so I've been working on something to put out there for moms to get like, some easy support that's going to be that first step for them. And so what I'm putting together is a program, and it's called the Triggered Mom Detox: How to Stop Yelling and Stay Calm Even in the Hardest Moments. So that will be coming out whenever this podcast gets released. So you can go to my, I mainly am on Instagram. So you can go to my Instagram at Chelsea Bailey Coaching, and it will be there. I'm going to just shout it to the rooftops because it's going to be amazing. And it's going to be self-paced, which I really love. And I know I get, I feel like I get attracted to those things because I'm like, I don't want to feel like I'm on a timeline or like I have to add this other thing to my to-do list. It can be just, I'll just get to it when I get to it. I can listen to it whenever I can listen to it in the car, to the next thing. So it'll be like a very approachable, easy, self-paced program that you'll get so much out of. And then, and I'm also going to offer like a group support too with it. So where you can be with me and you can ask questions and be in my space so that I can help you with any questions that you have and all the things. So I'm really excited to be dropping that. So I'll be dropping that. And then, you can just connect with me on Instagram and DM me. Like, I'm always like, I love having these combos with moms in the DMs and, to hear about what they're going through, because it really helps me be like, okay, this is where moms need support the most. So yeah.
Ooh, such a great way to help moms and moms with kids of any age, because that is universal of the triggers and then the automatic yelling and getting yourself calm. So, from 0 to, gosh, I've got a 19-year-old. It's like, it doesn't matter the age.
Yeah.
All moms can really use that. So thank you. And I love the self-paced part of it because you can do it whenever you can find time and make time for yourself. Also so important. Yes. So I will put a link to your website in the show notes. And yes, connect with Chelsea on Instagram. She always has such great, I just love her like drops. It's kind of a mic drop every time of like, are you feeling like this?
Thanks, friend.
Yeah.
I love
Good
that.
stuff.
And I feel like too, for us, even like for your audience, like as entrepreneurs, we're feeling that. I feel like we resonate with that. We talk about it all the time. We're like, you know, because we want to be working on our business, but then we've got to take care of our kids. And those triggers even come up for us. And we're like, oh my gosh, okay, what is this? You know? Yeah. And it's really easy to, for it to come up. So this program is going to be helpful for that. Like not just for your kids, but like, you know, because for me, I feel like I'm able to be a patient, present mom now. And so now it's like, if I get triggered, and I want to say that too, like your triggers can fully heal. Like some people will be on social media saying that like, oh, it's not about getting rid of the trigger. It's about learning how to manage it. And it's like, no. I know from personal experience, your triggers can fully heal and where you're unbothered. That's my favorite word. I'm unbothered. When my kid is having a tantrum, I'm like, okay, like I'm just unbothered and I can handle it as a patient, present mom. And that is freaking amazing. Like I wish I could put it into better word, but it's amazing. And but so now it's like I'll notice some triggers come up when I'm trying to work on my business and like my daughter doesn't take her nap when I was planning on working on my business. And so then I get frustrated and I'm like, oh, okay, what is that? And so it's like, this will be helpful for things like that too. So if you're an entrepreneur and you're noticing that come up within you because it resonates with us, this will also help with that as well. So
yeah, that's a good one because I'm sure everyone in the audience, you know, understands that. That just happened to me last week. I'm going to launch and my kid is sick and I need to take time off to get him to the doctor and all these things. And it's why, you know, you kind of remember.
Oh my gosh, story of our life.
Yeah, it is. And it's going to keep coming up. That's not going to change. So yeah, how do we handle it? So that's that's so great. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Thank you for joining us today. Always great to when you share your wisdom and just make moms, you know, feel better of like, no, you know what? You don't have to keep carrying that heavy load.
There's so much. I mean, there's so much that goes into this work, but I mean, it's always going to come down to reconnecting back to you again, because that's just going to pour out and seep out to every part of your life. It will. And like, you can heal. You can heal. You don't have to be stuck. It doesn't have to be, oh, this just is what it is. This is just motherhood. Like that's honestly a societal belief that has been implanted in our brain. And we need to like stop that. Like you can heal. Motherhood can be different for you. Claim that. Let it be different for you. Like you don't have to sink into the lies of like, oh, it just is what it is. I'm just going to be like a tired, exhausted mom forever. Like all my friends are. No, forget about them. You are called to do more. You're called to change the motherhood experience that you're having. Like go for it. Claim that you can heal. This can change. Just own it. Don't sit in that like, oh, well, I'll just wait till they get older. Like, no. Right. Do it now. You got this.
Yes. From the mouth of Chelsea. I love it because I say the same thing of like, no, you do not have to just wait until the kids are older or, that's always when people, it just is what it is. No, it's not. And it doesn't have to be. And we can change it. So yes,
absolutely.
Moms.
Yes.
You can change
it. Yes, moms.
Like, jazz hands and
go live your life.
Like, live your life. Yeah. You can be a great mother and be ambitious and go after your dreams. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you for joining us today, Chelsea. Yes.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. Always great to talk with you. And we will.
Yes. Let's connect. Go find me, find my girl. She's amazing. Like moms, you need to unite. We need to. Oh, here I go. On my spiel. I'm like, let's stop judging each other and unite. Oh my gosh. Let's unite.
It's so true.
Mom entrepreneurs
rise together. Too. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
So let's do it. Okay, everyone.
We're ready.
We'll catch you next time on Mompreneur True Talks. Bye.
Thank you for spending time with me today in Mompreneur Truth Talks. Before you go, please do me a quick favor. If this episode spoke to you, please like, follow, or leave a review. Your feedback helps other ambitious moms find these conversations about designing a business and life that work together. All right, moms, I'll see you next time. And remember, success isn't about sacrifice or balance.
It's about creating harmony and taking action steps that feel right for you.